Welcome aboard virtually in the 68 Morris Minor, which I believe, if I remember right, was, what is it, like the second last year these things were made?
They were produced until 1971.
Oh, 71. I was going to say 72 even. But yeah, I had filmed a couple of rides in the side streets before, and I'm like, oh, I do different. Since Ed was willing to go further to make get some nice action shots in these old towns, because frankly, things just look the same, and often there's streets where you don't see any other modern cars around, which are colorless. And it's just like to make this sort of like like to make these videos kind of like a movie, you know. Look at this huge speedometer here. You have this in the middle showing, I guess, what is it, 130,000? What is that? I can't see, my eyesight so bad I can't see. What is that, 30,000 mileage? Ed? Okay, he's looking at the road. It doesn't matter. The car, whatever mileage it is, the car doesn't show it anyway. It's so well maintained. Love the little mirrors on the ends of the fenders, just like in the Japanese cars back in the day. It's neat. And now we're in the Whiskey Trench, and it's called the Whiskey Trench because back when in the old days there was a Seagram's distillery up there, so they were making whiskey, so you could smell the whiskey being made there.
I think you still can.
I don't know. It's been a long time I went through here and I smell any whiskey, because now it's really mostly Budweiser, right? Budweiser bottle of back. See, this is what's cool, because another reason to do this video is because the other times I didn't have this GoPro, you know, so there's no shaking, and it's fun, you know. Well, the car shakes quite a bit though. That's definitely an economy car. It shakes quite a bit. Definitely doesn't ride like the Corvair. That's of course a little downside, but whatever, it's temporary. This bridge, the whole bridge is they're gonna have to do a lot of work to this, I think. Probably only like what? How old do you think this bridge is? Like 70 years old? 80 years old?
That's a nice shot, the train bridge over there.
How old do you think this bridge is, Ed?
I don't know. I thought maybe in the 1920s or 30s maybe they built it. I don't know.
I don't know either. But it is really old too, because look at the way it's made. There's no
600 meters, keep right to stay on Med 138 West.
There's no breakdown.
There's a modern economy car.
Oh yeah, me and Ed were talking before when we left, and didn't mention.
Keep right to stay on Med 138 West.
I don't know if I noticed it last time, because I rode in this car in 2 years, but the modern Mini has the same large.
Continue on Med
Even the original Mini has this, because this is previous to the Mini. It was designed in 1948.
That's right. Exactly.
The Mini came out in �59, so.
And this was the British version of the Volkswagen Beetle, but larger. I mean, look at this. I mean, both Ed and I are like 6'3", 6'2", and look how cavernous the inside of this thing is. It's amazing.
Enough room for a top hat.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely intentional. It would be actually neat to find a Beetle to park this next to compare it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, a Mini, forget it. Mini is Mini.
500 meters, take Med 207, Med 221 exit to St.
St. Remy, that's a beautiful little town. I drove through there with Nick a few weeks ago.
Take the Med 207 exit and turn left toward St. Isidore.
Because it wasn't easy to open that either. It's very, very tight, very, very well made. You know what I mean? As you know,
after all those years too of opening and closing.
Yeah, the thing is too is that everybody knows cars. They know that the cheaper a car is, often things are, you know, they're built cheaply and loose and just wonder, because, you know, like Ed said, the design dates back to 1948, but it's a 68, and even at that, things are very solid, and there's no wear there. And, you know,
Well, everything's metal, right? Even the dashboard is metal.
Yeah, right.
Everything is metal, so it's solid. It was actually the first British car to reach 1 million production number.
how many did they make?
I think it was 1.6 million.
And of course, that does not include the famous Hindustan, right? The
Well,
the Indian
yeah.
version of this.
Yeah, so, or no, that's the Morris Oxford.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Morris Oxford,
So the
which
Morris
was
Oxford was like the big brother to this car.
yeah, a little bit bigger, a little more
It
chrome.
was bigger and it was a little bit more luxurious, I guess. And when they stopped producing it in the UK, they brought the tooling, I think, down to in India, and they kept producing it there. But they put in, I think, a Suzuki engine or some other engine. And I think even today it's still it's known as the Hindustan Ambassador.
Hindustan Ambassador, that's what I forgot to mention.
And
You're
it's
right.
basically the same 1940s Morris Oxford.
Yeah, and then back in the day in India, New Delhi, and all these places, that was the car. That was the taxi. All the taxis were these cars.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is the place where like cars like this fit perfectly,
Yeah,
eh?
that's it. And this speed limit, like 45 miles an hour, just right at the speed limit.
All this is still Kanawaki?
Yeah.
Which way? Where are we going towards?
I said Hemmingford.
Right. Because
We'll see.
I'm a little bit lost. I guess we're going south then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's a nice bike path right there. Probably an old rail line.
Yeah, it could have been definitely.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, likely because it's such an industrial area. Yeah. So you've had this car now. You're getting like 25 years. You practically had this car. I mean, okay, you don't use it a lot, but
23.
the fact of the matter is that you've never done any major engine work on this car.
Oh, I rebuilt the engine.
Oh, you rebuilt it. When?
All the mechanical, like new brakes, engine, tires, bearings, wheel bearings.
So you
New
rebuilt.
carpets inside.
But you didn't. So you rebuilt it not because it didn't run well, but because
Had
you
an
could
oil
tell.
leak and it was bearings were worn out.
Okay.
The engine needed to be rebuilt.
Right.
So I put new pistons in, and air circulation. So even if the cover leaks and you don't trap humidity, that's what I try to do. But it still damages the paint, but at least you're not filling the interior. Because old cars, what happens is the weather stripping dries, the you know, and water still
That's
gets
it.
through.
That's it. This is, you know, these are all the things actually young people need to know about classic cars or old, very old cars in general. Like even me, I didn't know that stuff. I didn't know anything about the weather stripping, drying up, because it's made of oil. So anything, even oil, eventually will dry
It's
up.
rubber. It's rubber.
rubber.
The rubber dries
up.
It shrinks.
Same thing with the tires. The tires, if they're cracked on the sidewalls, that's dry rot. That's not good. You could drive on them, but there's a risk. It is too risky. And it's all this stuff is imperative to know because again, you know, those people are going to be to continue this whole hobby in the future. I mean, how do you know there's not some young guy right now who's bought a Morris Minor like this or Oxford and he doesn't know jack shit about it? Thank God. Thank God. That's the beautiful thing I keep saying about the internet. The internet has saved thousands and thousands of classic cars and that are restored. You know, and here's an old Prelude. You know, it's...
And getting parts and also getting the knowledge is available now. Before you just had, you know, the Haynes manual and and mail order parts.
Yeah, and Hemming's Motor
now
News.
You can look on YouTube, figure out, watch some guy do the job ahead of, you know, before you started. Order the parts online. It's much easier in a way.
You know, it's funny. It's like just filming this right now. Actually, this reminds me. I'm having a flashback to one of many of Scott's rides at Cold War Motors in Alberta near his place, right? It's just like this, except there's less homes. It's just more flat, and it's just like that. It's all, what's the matter?
I'm saying, oh, I thought I had it filming your face, but it's the other way around. That's a cool camera.
Yeah, this is thanks to an old high school buddy of mine. He gave it to me. He saw my channel, and he says he had this, and he wanted to give it to me, and it's fantastic.
It's small, very compact.
It's very compact, and it is a bit heavy, and it does use a lot of battery, but it's worth it because it's really made for action shots. That's really the bottom line of it. And you see, look, no matter how much I shake compared to a phone, it doesn't really shake much at all. There's like a stability option on this. But the only thing that's really annoying about it is a lot of times you turn it off. Yeah, I noticed these before. Look at this. Is that you turn it off and then it turns back on. So, and even Ben, he told me, he's like, yeah, he says, I heard about these defects his GoPros have, and so, but you know,
it's doing a good job. It's got good resolution too.
Oh, it's got great resolution. As a matter of fact, it's even better resolution than this. It's just that my computer is like 12 years old, so it can't handle a 4K video. So it's got on a 1080 DPI at 60.
You lowered the resolution.
Yeah, it's at the lowest resolution, so that it can actually upload the video and so forth. You know, so. But yeah, it's still totally worth it. So until one day I get a more recent computer, it's gonna have to stay at this basic resolution. Yeah, better than nothing, you know. But there was a friend of mine recently I met up and we did a walking video together and we did a ride in the video together, and I watched his videos like, oh man, now I really wish I had that kind of quality. That's what I'm missing, you know. And like an old Dodger, extended van Dodge Ram, that's rare. All the cool stuff, guys, is out here, man. Jesus Murphy, it's not the city anymore. Hey, look, we just passed an old boat that's on stilts right now. Yeah, this is what these cars are made for. Ed, did you see the news today or yesterday? They said that the most stolen cars in Montreal are in Fairview Shopping Center.
Oh, really?
Can you believe that?
Well, it's a huge parking lot.
It's a humongous parking lot.
Massive parking lot. Plus, there's also
and it's all like middle, upper class.
Yeah.
So think about think about all those SUVs they're gonna steal and all that.
And then also they're newer cars, and they have the keyless.
Keyless entry, right?
So it's easy to get around.
Yeah.
The thing that prevents this car from being stolen is easily recognizable.
And nobody wants it.
It's right-hand drive.
It's right-hand drive, and it's standard.
It's standard, and you need a key to start it. You know, so that's it.
Yeah. Well.
And also, maybe it's not a desirable car that most people don't want. It's not practical, so that also saves it.
Actually, yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention in that report, they were saying, can you believe up until now, there's already been like apparently 123 cars stolen this year alone from that parking.
Wow.
That's crazy. That means that if you have one of those desirable cars, I could imagine a few off the top of my head, right?
A Ford F-150 pickup.
Yeah, Explorer. Or,
Escalade or whatever.
yeah, and whatever else I'm not thinking of.
Honda CRVs.
Yeah, Honda CRV. Yeah, that's a big one too. That's it. It's like don't go and park there and be there for hours on end.
Toyota, whatever.
What are they gonna do now? They're gonna have to put cameras everywhere. They're gonna pay some guy to drive around the parking lot all day.
Well,
I mean,
even then, what are you gonna do? Who knows? Like, someone approaches a car, gets in and goes away. What are you gonna do?
Hey, there's a motorcycle behind us. You think he's gonna pass us?
I think he's drafting us. He's on a scooter.
Hey, the sun! Whee!
Yeah, there's something gonna go there.
Well, I had my doubts, you know. Especially after, look at that. Wow, with the sun coming out over there, that's cool. You know, how many times did the meteorologists this year say, oh, it's going to be sunny today, and it wasn't even sunny? Yeah, eh? Should have never opened that. Still think it's funny, this is the defrost. It looks like something off a toaster or something, eh? Look at this nice garage, that's pretty nice. Look at it with the two flags there. They got the Canadian Quebec flag. They probably do inspections there, that's why. Not supposed to rattle. It's supposed to be plastic that rattles, not metal. Excuse me, metal.
It's very light in the front, so you don't need.
There's still some nice foliage.
But Huntington is really quite a tiny town. It wasn't even like any.
You mean Hemingford?
Or Hemingford, that's what it was.
Like you said, I guess a lot of them do look alike after a while, eh? Yeah, you saw that barn too, eh, with the green doors and all. I love that. Yeah, I don't know. I wish there was more people like you had balls to keep driving once in a while, classic car, weather permitting in November. I just don't understand people who, you know, I mean, like you said, it's 20 bucks extra, like big deal. 20 bucks nowadays is nothing. You know, like just a day like that for a few hours is just worth every penny. It's fun, you know. Okay, it's not even the perfect day, but look, these old cars, they run hot easily, and look, it's like it's perfect time to run them. It's like what, 6 degrees, 5 degrees, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the car shows are closed now, so people are mostly interested in going to car shows.
Yeah, exactly,
and they're not
exactly.
into driving, whereas
Right.
I don't really go to the car shows.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
driving it. So
That's right.
As long as there's no salt or water on the road, I'm gonna be fine.
Exactly. They just want to win trophies, you know. Like, man, come on now. Oh, look at these beauties. Ooh.
But this car has a large radiator. It doesn't ever have a overheating problem. It always stays cool.
Oh yeah, but also it's not a V8 either, eh?
No.
But you're right. A lot of old cars, they have these 6 cylinders, big 6s,
Yeah.
8s, and the cooling is
They
inadequate.
have small radiators or small passageways.
Yeah. And people add an extra radiator, or they change it.
This car, what they called it, over radiated. It has a huge radiator and a small engine. So
I'm just gonna burn this battery out. It's got like 14% left on it.
save some of it for the returner.
Yeah, there's a Montreal car right there, eh? Well, look at this. Let's start recording and the sun comes out. How about that? Well, I wanted to also, it's funny that happens because Ed just mentioned something I never noticed. You know, I have a keen eye for what's original, what's not. I had no idea that he actually added that temperature gauge there. What's the other one, attack?
That's the oil pressure.
You said this is also a glove box before?
It was a glove box, but it had no cover.
No, but you're right. These are very important.
And this I added hazard lights.
Yeah, these are very important things to have. It's a question of safety. Eh? a question of the engine.
Well, just the health of the engine.
The health of the engine. Yeah, I was looking for the right.
If you have a
choice of
problem,
words.
like if you know you have low oil pressure, you can shut the engine off.
And the red switch has the hazards, right?
Yeah.
And Ed was also mentioning before, because when we left town, there really wasn't any wind. And then when we got to Hemmingford, wind picked up. And now you can see it's windy now. You can feel the wind coming through here on the doors and the legs. It's he's right. When the wind picks up, it's quite drafty actually. And I also have to try to keep my right leg here out of the way for Ed to shift this thing, because like he said, it's got a long throw to it. Love that green. Never mention it, but I love it.
Nice
Very
color.
old school green. Actually, that reminds me, Ed, you know what's funny about that green? The other day when I was after I filmed my walking video in Westmount, I was walking up Sherbrooke towards the carrier. I said, and I was really tired too, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I figure I should. I'm so close. I should go check out that vintage elevator in one of the side streets there. See if I could, film a little ride in it, because it looks so original. Like the walls and the doors all green like this,
yeah, yeah.
And it's got this Art Deco type of front door and everything, probably built in the 30s, 40s. And I'm about to go to the door, and this woman comes in at the same time. I hold the door for her. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe the timing. I went there like 5-6 times, and I'm like, and I got to film a little ride in there, and it's pretty original, quite original. And the elevator was so old that when you push the button, you can hear the hydraulic motor going like that.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's thing of the past. You don't hear that anymore. Yeah, very cool stuff. So I guess we're back in Ganawagi, it looks like. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I would be wow, that's a neat looking place. I'd be kind of tempted to tool around these streets a bit, see some old cars. I don't know when the last time you ever did that. I was saying earlier, we're in that weird car sticks out. So what? Who cares? We love old cars. Cars is like music. It doesn't matter what creed or what background. I don't care if you're black or Chinese or whatever. We all love the same thing. That's what it's all about. It's all about preservation. Ed's not saying anything.
Always.
What the hell is this?